Hi, welcome to The Funding Blueprint, Unlocking Startup Success, presented by StartHub. I'm Cody Goff, and today you're going to learn what success looks like in cutting-edge tech startups working in the worlds of blockchain, DeFi, and Web3. Are cryptocurrencies and NFTs dead in the water, or is there more opportunity for innovation and investment? And how hard is it to find developers who can actually write blockchain code? Well, here to demystify all of that is Ivan Maltsev. He's a general partner at 3X Capital, and he's responsible for the management of the research department and portfolio management across blockchain infrastructure, DeFi, and Web3 startups. He's also an angel investor and advisor in many blockchain startups, and has been trading crypto and investing as an angel investor in crypto startups and their tokens since 2016. Now, I realize that you may not know what Web3 means, or blockchain. That's fine. This is a startup podcast. We started our conversation by explaining all that. And if you're here because you already know about Web3, just skip ahead 3 seconds, or a minute, or something. Here's our conversation. What is Web3, and how often do you find yourself explaining it to people, Ivan, when you're at a party? Is it breaking through? Are a lot of people now starting to kind of get it, or is it still really on that cutting edge?
Sure. Thank you, Cody, for introduction. I'm excited to be here, and of course, I would love to highlight some things about Web3 because I'm here and I'm proud to be a part of this journey. The Web3 specifically has several things that are kind of fundamental for it. The first one is the ownership. So in Web3, actually, you own the assets like NFTs, tokens. You store them in your wallet. It can be a hardware wallet or your MetaMask wallet. So you have this kind of ownership. Second, the majority of blockchains, they are more decentralized than the majority of the corporate institutions that have an owners who has the majority of shares and receive the majority of profits. So in Web3, we have this creator economy where people can earn by contributing to the community, contributing their time, their assets, their efforts. And the third, we have this brilliant kind of value of transparency. So the majority of the blockchains, they are opened. So you can see everything that is happening from some small transactions to new tools that are building. The majority of them are open source. So I usually love to speak with my software engineers who are building and excited to see some new things happening in the space. So Web3 is more about, the tech that provides to the community some additional values like ownership, decentralization, transparency, and of course, many, many others.
Yeah. Are you seeing that Web3 startups are more or less likely to be successful than other types of startups? We all know most startups fail, right? But how about Web3?
Good question. It's hard to compare, but there are some benefits and, of course, some disadvantages of Web3 startups. Speaking about the benefits, so it's quite expensive actually to build on the blockchains. You wouldn't find so many developers in the world who can build on Rust or Solidity or other languages. So it's expensive, the first one. The second, it's quite complicated. You have your business operations and your startup should be profitable. At the same time, you have your token economy that also should be supported by your team, your activities, your investors. So you have kind of lack of focus sometimes for the startups, and the majority of them do not understand that, the token part is also a separate business that should be kind of very, very focused in. So to sum up, there are some exciting things in Web3. For instance, the values that I mentioned before, but there are some challenges, and the challenges are also very, very tough here. Especially the market sentiment. So you have this, volatility, and when the market goes down, no one wants to test your product, no one wants to invest in it. But when the market grows, everyone we want to try it. We want to be in this kind of stream. So that's a difficulty. In classic startups, you do not see this huge volatility. Of course, there are market sentiments, and all startups are actually kind of struggling, raising and growing with the current market conditions. But in Web3, it's even more harder. So if you will take like 100 top assets based on market cap from the coin market cap or other platforms, you will find out that the majority of them lost more than 70% in value, maybe sometimes 80, 90%. So there are so many challenges here that you will cross that needs to be updated. So definitely you need to be like very, very like proactive, very flexible, very like resilient to work in this environment. I'm not speaking about some scams, problems with exchanges, etc. There are some other problems that the majority of people who are not building in Web3, they even do not recognize. Still, the technology is very young, and I think it will take more time to have this market like more stable, more mature. So maybe the Bitcoin spot ETFs will provide some fundament for institutional investors to join, and will lead to some more stable environment for smaller startups, players who are building their applications here.
Got it. So what I'm hearing is a business is not the same as a token. You can't just make a token. You're not going to invest in that. That's just a non-starter. And you're getting pitched in ebbs and flows depending on the market. So I imagine when Bitcoin was at 60K, you were probably inundated with pitches, and maybe now things are a little bit quieter. Does that, would you then recommend that people wait to pitch to pitch investors, or wait to start to build a product until things are a little more calm so there's less competition? Can I kind of like time my pitch?
No, I don't agree with you here. I think right now it's the best time to learn and to build your product and to speak with your potential partners, your investors. When the market will be growing, your investors, your partners will not have time to, work with new startups, build new relationships, because they already will have so many things ongoing. I cannot confirm your statement regarding the kind of sentiment in the market that is negative, that we receive more pitch. I can say that the quality of the pitches is growing. The amount of the pitches is a bit smaller, but for us, the quality is the priority, not the amount. Of course, diversification is a quite important factor in every investment institution or any retail investor, but in general, the quality of the products, pitches, innovations is growing right now, and we are experiencing it on daily basis.
Great. So if you have an idea and you're listening, now is the time. There's no better time than the present, and you're seeing better pitches than ever. That's nice for you, I bet. And so then let's talk about what success looks like. Can you think of a startup in your portfolio or that you've invested in the past that did something that jumps out in your mind as you just think like, oh, I remember the moment when I decided I need to fund this company, and what was that secret sauce? What can people learn from that?
I think the secret sauce is equality and consistency in the team actions to achieve the results. So one of the stories is connecting to one of our portfolio companies called Raters that has 650,000 monthly active users. They are movie lovers social media. So they bring together movie lovers, and they can chat, recommend, suggest each other movies and other things like series. So I think that when we looked into their product, when we looked into their data room, we see a very high quality. At the same time, the valuation was reasonable and based on the metrics. So it gave us like more confidence in the investment. And we are happy, to support them from several angles. It's not only about investment, it's more about providing support to them as an advisors from different perspectives. So right now, for instance, we are applying for several grants It's really tough to raise money, but the grant programs that are available for everyone in Internet Computer Protocol or in Linea, you can easily apply and reach out and receive a small grant from 25 to 100K to keep building. So right now, as I mentioned, it's the perfect time to build your product and the perfect time to work on the quality. At the same time, education is a part of this process. So you have to, find out more about the proper education. Maybe it's an accelerator for you, or it's a program for you as an angel investor. If you would like to deep dive in the analytical process, in the diversification of your portfolio, in security of the assets. So you need to find the proper program. And we at 3x, what is different from the majority of the players, we are open, we are community focused. So we have several programs that are free of charge for everyone. We have educational events that are open for everyone every week, because we believe that providing, some value in the form of knowledge, our own experience, our fails, in the form of connections and just openness to everyone is something that can bring, difference during the next market, because people will remember that we were here for them. And that's something that we have as a difference. So we have the fund, 3x Capital, we have 3x Education, where we do educational programs for startup founders, like acceleration programs, as well as for investors. It's a separate program. We provide some scholarship, of course. We provide some free lectures as well, open classes for everyone. We also have 3x Club. It's an investment community where people are co-investing with us. So just this week we closed a deal with Layer 0. That is one of the most innovative omni-chain protocols in the world. I'm very excited. Our community invested, and that's kind of amazing opportunity. We also have 3x Software, where we are building different tools to crash test the blockchain, the application that we are investing in. So we have several, departments that are supporting this ecosystem. At the same time, we are focused on building relationships, building friendship, I can say, with community. Because in the end, your product not always is something that will change the world, but your, relationships, your partnership, your kind of good behavior will definitely be noticed.
That's beautiful. I love the way you put that. That's really nice to hear in the business world, where so often, it's dog eat dog. It is those relationships that matter. So you've got So you've got 3x Capital, 3x Education has education programs, 3x Club is a community people can participate in, 3x Software, and I have heard of Layer 0. That is a huge deal. That's fantastic that you've got a partnership with them. So a lot going on in terms of that education. A couple questions. You mentioned there's a lot of people out there now that can code and program for blockchain applications. Would you say to a potential startup founder, don't worry, there is talent out there if you look hard enough? You think there is enough supply of talent for startups to tap into right now?
I think it's not enough. I would like to be frank with you. But if you know people who work daily in the market and can connect you with some good developers or some teams who are building specifically in different blockchains, because almost all blockchains who are on the mainnet, they have their hubs in different parts of the world. For instance, ICP has 15 hubs worldwide. So they have developers in Indonesia, in India, where you can reach out, you can partner up with them, apply for a grant together. They already did some successful projects, successful applications, and that's how actually you probably will receive some money from the leading ecosystem. At the same time, you will have partners who know how it works and how things are built on specific blockchain. So in my case, I will point out that the relationships, this is matter. And in any market, in Web3 or Web 2.0 or Web 2.5, it doesn't matter. But relationship is something that will will be there as a core.
Great. When I think about what it takes to build a successful startup, having your legal boxes checked is pretty important. And the law around this stuff is changing a lot. I mean, you saw a lot of 2023, the US government's trying to figure out if cryptocurrencies are securities or not, So how do you evaluate that as an investor? Like, couldn't you invest in something and suddenly a law changes and the whole thing tanks? Or is it not that simple?
Frankly, it's quite complicated, and you should look on the startup from different angles. Legal part is something that is actually in the progress, but at some countries, in some jurisdictions, we already have a clear guidelines how to work with startups, how to receive the license. Just for your understanding, in Dubai in March 2022, they provided a clear guidance how to apply and receive your license, how to work there. And right now we have more than 1,000 applications from startups that are approved, who can do different startups in the new market. At the same time, the European Union has approved MiCA, a new regulation for crypto that provides like a standard for VC funds, for advising, for fundraising, for startups as well. It was approved just this summer. So we have some good news as well. Something that is happening in the US, of course, it's major because US is a huge part of the market. But what we see that Asia is also a big part of the market. A lot of volumes, a lot of activities are from Asian market. And some of them have very clear guidelines, like Hong Kong's. From the 1st of June, they have a clear guidance even for retail investor. They provided some licensing. They approved some banks and funds license. So I think that overall, we have some progress here. And of course, I'm saying this maybe from 2018. It takes time. It just takes time to have a clear process, a clear guidelines, maybe a change of generations in the politics who understand the value, because there are so many risks concerning crypto, but there are so many risks concerning like fiat as well. Everyone who were doing like drugs and some other bad things, they did it with fiat, and right now some of them are doing it with crypto. Why it's a big problem? People will still continue doing the things they want. And it doesn't matter if they will receive money, in fiat or in crypto. So the logic behind all things legal is not usually clear. That's why I think we should follow up the market sentiment, understand that there are some good things happening, some strange things happening, and we just have to adopt. And in crypto, it's very volatile, but very fast. So when the new president will come to the US in the end of 2024, maybe we will see absolutely another view on crypto.
Yeah, I'm glad it's not all bad news. Clearly the headlines, got to read past the headlines. The EU has it kind of figured out. Hong Kong's got it kind of figured out. There's places that kind of have it figured out. Do you recommend, given that these companies exist on the internet and that they are decentralized, do you recommend that startup founders may do better in jurisdictions where the laws are a little more concrete, as compared to maybe the US or somewhere else?
Sure. My suggestion is to look on the European market. It might be expensive from the first point of view, but there are some jurisdictions like Estonia where you can online apply for e-residence. You can receive approval via your email, and after that you can open a company there. You can have your online accountant, your online lawyer who will help to do it. It's quite cheap. So to open the company and have a e-residence in Estonia, it will cost you like $1,000 per year. So it's extremely cheap, and you can accept crypto, you can work with crypto, you can build different applications, you can raise capital there. for this entity. So there are some areas that we see like a huge opportunity there. Of course, there are some challenges that will come from your product specifics, and definitely you need some lawyers, some partners who will help you to understand them. But in general, it's possible to do even here in Europe.
I did not know that about Estonia. Very interesting. I want to turn my attention specifically to blockchain and NFTs. I guess maybe cryptocurrencies specifically and NFTs. Has that ship sailed? Is it just so oversaturated and so bubble bursty that you don't see it? You don't see room for innovation, or is there still an appetite for more innovation in those areas?
I think that there is a huge appetite for innovation, and what we can see is fractionalizing properties, fractionalizing your business, tokenizing your business, and offering people some, let's say, NFT as a part of your apartment, and people are renting your apartment, so you receive some yield that is connected to the real business. This is something that we are closely looking at, and there are some startups who have already built these solutions in several jurisdictions. It's quite complicated from the first point of view, but when you deep dive into the economy, you understand that it might work, and you can, diversify your portfolio by having like 15% of the apartment in Bali and 20% of the apartment in New York. At the same time, you will invest much smaller amount of money in this asset, and you own it. You have this portion, But of course, the regulatory issue still exists, and you have to properly do your own research to identify these areas where you can invest or you cannot invest. So there are so many challenges in the space because it's relatively new. Just to coming back, the first Bitcoin was mined in 2009. The first ICO was Ethereum in 2014. So we have less than 10 years from the first ICO that happened. And why we should expect from this market to be like properly regulated, to be like very, very stable, very clear, very understandable for everyone. Of course, it's new. It's kind of every day I hear so many exciting things that are happening, that are building. For instance, right now, internally, we are building a product that will be the first crypto-friendly property rental platform absolutely on-chain. So it will be a mobile app where you can pay in fiat, in crypto, rent your property, and you see the property in captivating video format. So you see a short-form videos instead of pictures and descriptions, and everything is done on the blockchain. So that's something that we are building and we are excited to see in the space.
Really cool. One final question for you. When you're getting pitched, is there a specific tactic founders overlook? It's something that you wish you would hear in every pitch, but you just don't always get it?
Sure. Frankly, I don't usually hear the story. So I have to ask like additional questions, Hey guys, how did you come up together? How did you find out about this brilliant idea? Because some people, and it will happen usually, some people will be in the market for money, especially in crypto, because market is very like speculative, manipulative, and that's fine. But in general, I think that behind every story, behind every startup, there is a story. And the story, this is something that should be tell first, so to catch the attention, to understand the personalities behind this potential product. So that's crucial. Second part, we would like to see higher quality in the data rooms, because in the Web2, we already have a lot of professionals who know how to structure the data room, what documents you should put there, how to do an evaluation of the startup, properly using different models, how to do a market research and assessment. But what is lacking in crypto is this kind of high qualified professionals who can build this quality data rooms with all the documents that investors need in order to proceed with the investment. So I think if people will put more attention into their stories, into their documents in the data room that they're storing there, so how they build, how they actually communicate with investors, this is something that really might be improved, and this is something that matters. And I would like to see more people like that who are putting more attention on these important items.
I can see that. Maybe it's because the technology is so exciting. A founder has an idea. I think this would be cool. Let's go build it. And it doesn't go through that process of identifying the target market for this, identifying the problem that's being solved, which any other startup in any other vertical would do first, kind of naturally. But in Web3, it just moves so fast. You just get an idea and people get excited maybe, and they just kind of go straight for the product.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. That's a big problem, and I think we will soon overcome it.
Great. Well, if you found this podcast because you were working in Web3, blockchain, DeFi, I hope you took this advice to heart and you listened to other episodes of this podcast to learn about some of the fundamentals of what you should do before you start doing a startup, start creating your product. And if you want to learn more about Ivan, you can go and his work, you can go to 3x Capital at 3xcapital.fund. You can also look at 3x Education to check out their education programs, and 3x Club if you're interested in their community. I'll include links in the description of this podcast episode to all of that. And Ivan, is there anywhere else you would like people to follow you, or any other parting words you'd like to leave us with?
Thank you. No, I'm actually, I don't have the final kind of advice. I'm just happy to connect with everyone, happy to be valuable to people in the community, to be a mentor, to provide some feedback and organize some events. So feel free to reach out. I'm open for everyone. Find me on LinkedIn. It's quite easy.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ivan, and have a great weekend. Thank you for spending your Friday afternoon with me. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Cody.
I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Again, my name is Cody Goff. I produced today's episode. Today's episode was edited by Sean Patel, who does really cool sound design and audio-video production work. You can actually work with Sean. Get in touch with him at seanpatel.com. Check the description of today's episode for a link to that. And you can work with me if you want on any podcast-related initiatives, content marketing. That is my jam, after all. You can email me directly at cody@academicpodcasts.com. And of course, you can get more engaged with StartHub. StartHub has a really thriving community of startup professionals, entrepreneurs, founders, investors on their Discord server, which you can also find a link to in the description of today's episode. I hope that's enough resources for you for now. You'll have to wait another week for another fantastic conversation. But either way, I hope you join me at that time. Thank you for following, subscribing, and liking and rating the Funding Blueprint. You too can unlock startup success by continuing to follow our show. Thank you for joining me, and have a great week.